Hey guys, just having a look today at XTL. So XTL is an ETF. It's a telecommunications ETF. So it's a SPDR Series Trust S&P Telecom ETF. So it's a bunch of like telecommunications companies like T-Mobile, Verizon, At&t, Cisco, Bandwidth, Bondage, all those like Motorola. And then a bunch of other communication companies. So basically like anything like any networking companies, communications, like internet service providers, stuff like that. So from a 1 month perspective, from a monthly perspective, we've had fair volatility to the upside as far as all-time history for this ticker symbol. It's pretty high for volatility. Like as you can see, we always get the same amount relatively before its bear cycle. So not saying it's going to exactly do that, but basically those are just the channels that we have right now. So that's kind of like the trend line that it's making. Just an example, as you can see, we've pushed up into these overbought regions. There is some bearish volatility to the downside from a monthly perspective. Obviously, it has been a little bit bearish for the last few weeks. We've reached all-time highs. We've had about 2 weeks of selling, a little bit about moving on that last week. So I think this is just getting started. We could definitely see a lot of months more to the downside. Maybe we might not see a huge correction all the way down here, but as far as the market taking a correction right now, 77 does look pretty good. On the EMA 9, 83 bucks does seem pretty fair price. And as you can see, basically we did have a lot of movement in the last few days, kind of like pushing farther down. So today, what do we open up at? 95. We had a low of 93, so that's kind of a big move to the downside, right? That's one of the biggest candles that we had so far since this bear run started. So the bear run only been like 2 weeks, but that's the biggest candle we've had so far. So is this still bearish? I think it is. Would I be buying this right now? I would not be buying this right now. I definitely would wait. Kind of the same story, but this is kind of like it wants to go down. You can see there's some bearish momentum. We definitely got some. It wants to definitely push down to negative infinity from there. Just from like, as you can see, like all-time history. Once it kind of pushes up there, it kind of wants to get sold off and it wants to take profits. So from a weekly perspective, it has been running, as we said. Then last 2 weeks went bear. Could we see next week a little bit green? We could. We could see those shorter time frames come up a little bit. If you want to test back up there, we'll have a look at the day trading perspective. So we'll have a look at the 1 day. There is some room for it to come back up. You might see some bullish momentum from a daily perspective. We might be getting some dividends here as well. 4 hour looks pretty bearish. You can see those are just kind of left overbought. That's usually a good signal for momentum to the downside, whatever frame you're looking at. There is some bearish momentum here on the MACD default. That definitely could form some waves going down. Let's have a look at the 2 hour. Kind of same story there. 1 hour, same story. But we did see a little bit of retracers. That's why I'm thinking we could still come up a bit. So let's just check those shorter frames. Pretty consistent all the way through. Same story even here, like there's room for that to come down, right? You can see that. It's interesting too, but That is quite interesting, actually. That it's just all the way through like that. Really wants to sell off. 5 minute even looks similar. $52. 18th February. Oh, that was last year. Wow. Why is it showing me all of this in 5 minutes? That's really strange. Okay, maybe there's a glitch on these charts, but we'll just go off the bigger time frames then. Yeah, so basically the data is pretty clear for the bigger time frame. So would I be buying right now? I would not be buying right now. If you're looking for a day trade even, I probably would even wait on the day trade for this to come back down, these to swing low. I'd wait, try to look for some volatility to the downside, some heavy volatility like that. That was last year though, so that's kind of, not sure why these charts are so glitchy, but that's okay. Just go off the 1 days to the 1 month. So yeah, as you can see, we got a kind of just following that same trend line on the 1 month. So just have a look for a break of that trend line to see if we continue up. But definitely, even if we break that, I think we're still going to come down because there's a lot of room for that to come down. So just keep your eye out, and definitely those are some definite names to keep your eye on, like At&t, T-Mobile, Verizon, Cisco. You know, those are all huge companies, right? So they're good companies to look at. I was thinking about buying this even in November. The thing is, it was only like a 50% retracement at that point, so I don't know if it was really worth it. It could have just came down. But if you're looking to go short right now, definitely I would. Would I buy right now? I would not. I would definitely wait for these to come back down below that center line to at least thinking about to make a trade for a couple of weeks or whatever. But if you're going long for a couple, like for, you want to go long for at least a quarter to longer, a year or more, a couple of years, whatever, or you're really investing for a long time, I definitely wait to get a better price. So the conclusion is definitely wait for a better price, wait for it to come down. We'll look at that 83 level on that EMA 9, wait for that to break and see if it holds. If you're looking for a trade there, wait for it to come down, and then we'll talk about it later again when it comes back down to about 76, 75. All right, I'll see you guys later. Take care.